Please go back and read it. Not a single shred of evidence is presented to back any of those allegations. They are just serious allegations and general statements made without any evidence. So, number one, as the government and its senior officials mobilize to campaign for any particular candidate, the answer is simply no. Number two, have we instructed national government administration officers to campaign for any particular candidate? The answer is no. Have we been meeting chiefs in secret meetings and planning against the UDA presidential candidate? The answer is no. I mean, there's no evidence presented on that. Have the cabinet secretary, principal secretary, and senior Ngao officials been holding meetings and threatening chiefs to campaign for or support a particular candidate? The answer is no. No evidence is presented of this. They're just sweeping statements that are just made for the heck of it. That is something we need to figure out. Kwa sababu, sometimes I ask this, and please allow me on this particular one, I'm going to break out of the edict of collective responsibility. Yeah, so I was saying, you know, on this particular one, sometimes I ask myself the question, does His Excellency the Deputy President think anything of anybody? If you look at our sector, there's a pattern to this. I may be mistaken to think, in my view, from the observations I have had, and I'll be very frank with you, that maybe there are two groups of public servants in his worldview. The group that would worship him and bows to him and kiss his shoes, which are the group of human beings, or the group that has the temerity even to say no or seek clarification, which is a group of animals. In our sector alone, who does he think anything about? Kinoti ni Mujinga, Inspector General is incompetent, Kibicho and myself are animals, you know, and it's a pattern to this. For the time I have been at the Ministry of Interior, I can say this publicly, he likes to quote God. But God is seeing all of us talking here. The pressure under which we have come before to even sack Natembea, for example. I have not seen a regional commissioner in Rift Valley that the DP did not want sacked. We came under intense pressure to fire Natembea, even as county commissioner in Narok, then as regional commissioner to fire him from him, insisting he must be fired, even without providing reasons why we should fire him. I think sometimes, as I said, there is a pattern to this, because if you look at the entirety of the security sector, the way we are standing here, if Kinoti ni Mujinga, Inspector General is useless, and these are officers, our DCI is somebody who has been respected enough by his colleagues on the continent to be elected to the board of Interpol. Our Inspector General is somebody who has been respected enough by his colleagues to be elected the president of Afripol. So, on full view of the TV screens, his colleagues, fellow inspectors general across the continent, see his senior insulting him and calling him incompetent. Don't worry about me. Maybe me and PS Kibicho are the animals he describes us to be, or whatever the case may be. Does he think anything about anybody? So it's a question where you should ask yourself, is it us who have a problem with him, or he has a problem with us? But I think for the record, and on this particular, and I can speak for my brother here, how can you have a problem with your senior? We don't have a problem. Hatuna shida na yeye at all. Sisi tumepewa majukumu ya kufanya, na sisi ni watumishi wa serikali. Tunafanya vile tunaamrishwa na wakubwa wetu, na yeye ni mmoja wa wakubwa wetu. Lakini yale ambayo sisi hatuwezi kufanya, hatuwezi kuvunja sheria, na hata yeye mwenyewe anaelewa. Wakati tumeitilafiana, wakati mambo anataka tuvunje sheria, labda hapo ndio shida iko. Labda shida ya Kibicho na mimi ni kusema la. Two letter word, no. Kusema no for something. And even these officers I know, vile wanatusiwa ni kwa sababu labda wakati mwingine wamesema hapana kwa mambo fulani kama hayo. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuna shida na yeye, labda ana shida na sisi yeye mwenyewe, lakini mimi sijamuuliza na sijakuwa na nafasi ya kumuuliza. Na labda sitakuwa na nafasi ya kumuuliza kwa sababu najua katika protocol ya serikali, unajua hata mkono huwezi kunyoosha mkono kwa mkubwa wako, unangojea mkubwa wako akusalimie. Yeye mwenyewe ndiye anakuambia vile tunaendelea. Sasa siku ile atatuambia vile sisi ni nyang'au ni nini, sote tutaendelea tu, lakini nafikiri wazazi wetu wanajua hawakuzaa nyang'au, walizaa binadamu.
Swali lingine hapa. Naitwa Ben Kiri kutoka runinga ya Citizen. Kunao baadhi ya wanasiasa wamedai kwamba maisha yao yamo hatarini. Sijui kama mnaweza kuangazia swala hilo, labda kuongezea usalama.
Can you give me an example who has claimed their lives are in danger?